Kayameka was a cheerful girl who lived happily with her father in Enugu. Her mother had passed away years ago, but she still felt loved and cared for. Her father made sure she never lacked. But everything changed the day her father introduced Madam Veronica as his new wife. She was tall, flashy, and loud, with nails long enough to pluck mangoes. She came with 2 daughters, Ngozi, who thought she was a fashion queen, and Ifeoma, who always followed her sister like a handbag. From the very first day, they treated Kayameka like an outsider. When Madam Veronica entered the sitting room, she wrinkled her nose. Who arranged this sofa like this? Kayameka, come here. From today, you are the one in charge of all the chores. My daughters don't stress themselves. Kayameka blinked. But auntie, I already. Don't but me. Madam Veronica snapped. Ngozi and Ifeoma must focus on their beauty. Beauty is money, and money is beauty. Kayameka's peaceful life had just been hijacked. Within weeks, Madam Veronica became famous in the neighborhood. Not because of her shop where she sold provisions, but because of her bragging. Have you seen my daughters? Ngozi's shape is like Beyoncé. Ifeoma's eyes. Like Rihanna. Soon, they will be Miss Nigeria, she shouted every afternoon, gathering women who pretended to listen but rolled their eyes. Meanwhile, whenever people saw Kayameka, they whispered, that girl is naturally fine. Oh. No makeup, yet she glows like morning sun. One woman even told Madam Veronica, oh, your stepdaughter is more beautiful than all of them. That night, Madam Veronica nearly broke her mirror in anger. Over my dead body will Kayameka outshine my children, she screamed, while Ngozi and Ifeoma nodded, filing their nails. From morning till night, Kayameka worked like 10 house girls put together. She cooked, swept, fetched water, washed clothes, and still polished her father's shoes. One evening, her father returned from work and saw Kayameka scrubbing the floor with soap bubbles on her face. Kayameka, my dear, where are your stepsisters? He asked. She opened her mouth, but Madam Veronica quickly jumped in. Oh, they are upstairs revising for WAEC. You know children must focus. Meanwhile, Ngozi and Ifeoma were upstairs watching TikTok, practicing catwalks with high heels that bent like plantain chips. Kayameka sighed. She couldn't complain, because her father had no idea how badly his new wife was treating her. Sunday morning arrived like a trumpet blast. By 8 a.m., Madam Veronica had already lined up her daughters like mannequins. She dragged them to church in shiny, over-decorated gowns that looked like they were sewn overnight by a tailor who didn't sleep well. Their heels were so high, one wrong step and someone could easily land in the choir stand. Kayameka, on the other hand, slipped into a simple cotton dress and comfortable flat sandals. No noise, no drama, just neat and calm. The moment they all walked into church, heads began to turn. Whispers followed immediately. Is that not Kayameka? Oh, see fresh skin. Look at her glow, who is her plug abeg? She didn't even try too hard, see natural beauty. Oh. Madam Veronica's face tightened. Meanwhile, trouble had already started for her daughters. The church was hot, PHCN had taken light, and the generator had refused to cooperate as usual. Within minutes, Ngozi's heavy foundation began to melt slowly like butter left under the sun. A brown streak rolled down her cheek, giving her face 2 different colors. Then Ifeoma's eyelashes, which she insisted were original Dubai, started misbehaving. The glue was weakening under the heat, and one lash began to droop slowly until it almost dipped into her eye like it wanted to enter her soul. By the time they got to the reception area after service, the lash had fallen so low it was nearly touching her plate of jollof. People tried not to laugh, but small giggles escaped here and there. Even the ushers were biting their lips. Madam Veronica forced a smile so hard her jaw almost locked. She leaned in and hissed at her daughters with panic. This is embarrassment. How can one girl outshine all of us like this? We must do something. We must find a way to steal that girl's beauty before people finish disgracing us in this church. The next week, Madame Veronica sneaked out to meet a roadside herbalist called Boba Solution. He sold herbs in old Fonte bottles. "Boba, I want my daughters to be the most beautiful in this city," she hissed. "And I want that stepdaughter of mine to look like old bread." Boba Solution grinned, showing tobacco-stained teeth. "No problem, madam. Rub this cream on your daughters' bodies, and warn the other girl never to touch it. Her beauty will fade like akara left in rain." Madame Veronica rushed home happily. "Ngozi, Ifeoma, my queens, rub this and shine," she told Kayameka. "If I catch you near this cream, you'll see pepper." Kayameka shrugged. She wasn't interested anyway. That night, greedy Ngozi rubbed half of the bottle on her face, while Ifeoma used it like body lotion. By morning, disaster had arrived. Ngozi's face looked like roasted groundnuts, full of bumps. Ifeoma's arms had rashes that spread like bushfire. When they stepped outside, neighbors shouted, "Chai! Who beat these girls overnight?" One boy laughed, "Maybe they wrestled with mosquitoes." Meanwhile, Kayameke came out fresh-faced and glowing as usual. People clapped their hands. "No wa'o, some people are just blessed." Madame Veronica nearly fainted. Still determined, Madame Veronica dragged Kayameka to Ogbit Market. "Stay under the sun. Let your skin peel small," she hissed. Ngozi and Ifeoma sat under wide umbrellas, sipping coke like madams. But after 30 minutes, they were sweating like goats at Christmas. Their makeup melted until their faces looked like akara balls in oil. Kayameka, however, sat calmly, her skin only glowing more. Traders hailed her, "Fine girl, come and buy tomatoes. Special price for you." Ngozi fainted dramatically. Ifeoma fanned her with a handkerchief, shouting, "Mommy, water. My sister is dying." But everyone ignored them and kept hailing Kayameka. One rich family in town invited everyone to a lavish wedding. The whole street buzzed with excitement. Kayameka wanted to stay home, but Madame Veronica smirked. "No, you must come. Let people finally see how miserable you look." She bought sparkling lace gowns for Ngozi and Ifeoma, but handed Kayameka a faded wrapper. "Tie this and follow us." That night, Amara, Kayameka's loyal friend, visited. "My sister, you can't wear this rag. Take my gown." Simple but classy. Kayameka hesitated, then agreed. Little did she know the wedding would change everything. The morning of the wedding, Ngozi and Ifeoma painted their faces with enough makeup to open a shop. Their heels clicked like marching soldiers. But when Kayameka stepped out in Amora's gown, neatly braided hair, and her natural glow, even Madame Veronica's jaw dropped. At the wedding hall, guests ignored the stepdaughters completely. Everyone rushed to greet Kayameka. "Fine girl, who is your mother? She looks like a bride herself." Madame Veronica forced a smile, but inside, her heart was burning like kerosene. When the DJ shouted, "Everybody to the dance floor," Ngozi and Ifeoma ran forward. They shook their waists so hard, their wigs shifted sideways. People gasped, then burst out laughing. "See their head. Is that plate or traffic jam?" Meanwhile, Kayameka danced joyfully with other guests, looking graceful. The groom's younger brother kept stealing glances at her, even spraying her money. By the time Ngozi's wig finally fell off, children were already chasing it around the hall like football. The crowd laughed until tears dropped. The next week, Kayameka became the talk of the town. "That girl is pure beauty," people said everywhere. Young men started coming to the house, knocking politely. "Good afternoon, sir. We came to greet Kayameka." Madame Veronica tried pushing her daughters forward. But don't you like Ngozi or Ifeoma? The men smiled awkwardly. Sorry ma, we came for Kayamika. Ngozi cried in the room, why don't they want us? Ifeoma replied, maybe because we look like Puff Puff now. Finally, Kayamika's father got fed up. He had been too quiet for too long, but now the truth was clear. Veronica, if you maltreat my daughter again, pack out of my house, he thundered. Madam Veronica's mouth shook like generator. She had no choice but to calm down. From that day, Kayamika lived happily, free to laugh and shine. Neighbors respected her even more. Madam Veronica and her daughters, instead of stealing her beauty, became the clowns of the street. And whenever Kayamika remembered their wigs falling off at the wedding, she laughed till her stomach hurt. Moral: beauty is not in heavy makeup, jealousy, or fake tricks. True beauty shines from within, and envy will only disgrace you in the end.